He only then realized that he was now in a prison cell. The red rope in his hand was nowhere to be seen. Did she untie it? After some inquiries, he found out that the Sin Pool trial had ended a day earlier. When I asked about Hazel's situation, the girl informed me that Hazel had been selected as the eldest young master's acolyte. She knows that my relationship with Hazel is not ordinary, and advised me to let go of this feeling as soon as possible. The girl admires the eldest young master very much, and she mentioned that he is believed to be reincarnated from an immortal in the witch clan. Legend has it that when he was born, he carried a colorful fetal bead signifying remarkable cultivation achievement and extraordinary innate talent. It is believed that once the eldest young master enters the immortal realm, he will return to the three great divine mountains, where he will become a true immortal once again. Various extraordinary phenomena occurred at the time of his birth. The Xuanwu star, which had been dark all year round, shone brightly because of him. The whole witch clan was celebrating his birth, with birds chirping together. Since the age of 5, he often dreamed of an immortal tower. Although he had never set foot in it, he could describe the details of the building. There was a lamp in the tower with a strange name on it, but he vaguely felt that it was actually his name. At the age of 13, he recited the mantra to make the iron tree blossom. When he turned 14, he sleepwalked into the divine realm and paid respects to the immortal. At the age of 16, he unexpectedly used his intuition to find the divine court under Shaman's Blessing Lake. Unfortunately, the divine court was tightly closed. Although he landed in the wilderness, after obtaining the ancient deity heritage, he eventually ascended to the immortal mountain, becoming the talk of the town. On that day, on the tall building of the witch clan, she saw the group of chosen ones from the demon slayer court. But deep down, she felt there was a special person who seemed to have a connection of causality with her. At this point, he made the decision to recruit Hazel as an acolyte. But because he insisted on choosing Hazel as an acolyte, his story suddenly came to an abrupt end. Half a day ago, the eldest young master was waiting at the mansion for the girl to enter into a contract with him. Hazel entered the room slowly with a sword in hand. No wonder Henry said she was average-looking before. It turns out that in other people's eyes, this is her face. Eldest young master seemed to appreciate Hazel's calm and composed demeanor. "It seems that you do not fear me." Hazel then asked him back, "Is there anything in this world worth fearing?" This is not the case. The fates of all things in the world have long been determined, and both heaven and destiny are to be revered. Just like the witch clan can only have 3 successors of the gods, you who revere destiny will never tolerate an extra one. Eldest young master listened but didn't care at all, asking for Hazel to come to him. Hazel asked as she walked, "The most unnecessary existence in this world is surplus people, isn't it?" Eldest young master didn't know what Hazel meant, but it was what he was thinking in his heart. He didn't know why, but he always felt a faint sense of familiarity towards the girl in front of him. He asked Hazel if she knew the reason. At this moment, a colorful feather gently blew across Auntie, concealing her true identity as she deceived everyone in the witch clan. As the eldest young master touched Hazel's hair, he froze in that moment. Hazel, now revealing her true self, simply smiled and offered to explain things to the eldest young master. The girl in the prison cell believed that once the acolyte finished selecting, it would be her death sentence. The witch clan never showed mercy to those deemed unnecessary. However, the one who deserved to die was not her. In the end, there will only be 3 acolytes left out of the 4. I wonder which one Hazel will eliminate. True Immortal Cloud suddenly appeared in the cell looking exhausted. Presumably, Dragon Corpse has been subdued, but he also paid a significant price for it. What surprised the girl was that True Immortal Cloud did not make a move against me. Instead, he handed me a silver cast acolyte badge. The girl asked who had died, True Immortal Cloud, Jameson, or Henry. True Immortal Cloud just gave her a glance, which scared her so much that she immediately dared not speak again. I took the acolyte card from True Immortal's hand, and it seems to be as I expected. True Immortal seems to have noticed that I had foreknowledge and asked if I had known about it in advance. Already at this point, I didn't hide it and admitted directly. I wonder if Hazel took care of Henry or Jameson. Neither. True Immortal raised his hand and split the iron chain that bound me. He informed me that from this day on, I would be fourth Mrs. Acolyte. What? Fourth Miss? When did the Witch Clan have a fourth Miss? May I ask who is True Immortal fourth Miss? True Immortal Cloud, who already knows everything, silently closes her eyes. He pictured the appearance of that girl in his mind. True name of Miss Fourth is Hazel Witch. Never thought that Hazel turned out to be the long-deceased Witch Clan Miss Fourth. At this moment, she has already taken off her disguise. She leaped towards eldest young master with a sword in hand. She aims to reclaim everything owed to her by the Witch Clan. The eldest young master, however, does not take it seriously. He dodged this sword with his body. At this moment, he finally understood that the girl in front of him was the suspicious person who infiltrated the Witch Clan. He asked Hazel why she had come. Are you peeping at the power of the guardian deity, or the various sword techniques of the Witch Clan? Hazel listened but just sneered in response. Sorry, not interested. I am here to do only two things. I want revenge, and to take your life. The overwhelming killing intent filled in the scabbard is unstoppable. Eldest young master placed the sword blade horizontally in front of his body. Although his sword speed was fast, he was easily evaded by Hazel, who had already mastered the Witch Clan sword technique. She was able to dodge his sword, which left eldest young master somewhat incredulous. Hazel, after evading, did not stop her attack. After the red cord was untied, the power of the seal in her body continued to surge and erupt incessantly. At the beginning of the confrontation, eldest young master began to struggle a little. He found that he did not have the upper hand in swordsmanship comparison. What shocked him even more was that Hazel's realm was continuously improving, even faintly surpassing him. The eldest young master immediately abandoned his sword, formed hand seals, and chanted an ancient spell. With his extraordinary innate talent, he had already mastered multiple types of magic. At this moment, he was using the technique bestowed upon him in his dream by an immortal, the origin of Qianyuan. The sword chi continuously gathered towards the sky without stopping. A huge fiery dragon loomed in the sky, overlooking Hazel and preparing to launch a fierce attack on her. Hazel showed no fear at all. Today, let this so-called immortal see what the true Witch Clan swordsmanship is. She pointed her sword at the sky, using the same Witch Clan swordsmanship as the eldest young master, but in her hands, it became even more powerful. Endless sword intent surged forth, and the flaming dragon standing in the sky was instantly destroyed by this strike. The eldest young master looked at her with a smile, praising her impressive momentum, but regretted that she was one move short in the game. He believes that he can defeat Hazel with his extraordinary immortal techniques. He then confidently and calmly cast the spell again, using the immortal technique Qianli Heavenly Flame. An even more powerful fire technique surged up around him in an instant. A huge fireball suddenly swept towards Hazel, its intense heat capable of destroying everything. The moment of impact was like a volcanic eruption, with flames breaking through the roof and reaching the sky. The terrifying shockwave shook the entire Witch Clan. Onlookers, bewildered by the situation, looked towards the eldest young master's mansion in amazement. The fire gradually dissipates, leaving a scene of devastation wherever the fireball passed. Looking at everything burned before him, eldest young master sighed. What a pity, such a precious treasure has not been. Before he could finish his sentence, a voice interrupted his thoughts. The familiar figure quietly appeared. Hazel emerged unscathed in front of him, with eyes full of killing intent as if they could penetrate one's soul. What do you regret? Watching the raging fire at the eldest young master's mansion, everyone had a foreboding feeling that something was amiss. Hurry to Sin Pool and invite True Immortal Cloud to come. Hazel stood unharmed in the flames at the mansion. What you said is it a pity that I didn't die? At this time, eldest young master has not yet realized the seriousness of the situation. He believes that Hazel must have a foresight spiritual constitution to foresee the future in order to have evaded his attack. Hazel, on the other hand, just chuckled after hearing that, and step by step walked towards him. If the eldest young master is only at this level, then please just die here today. Outrageous. With nearly 20 years of cultivation, this is the most arrogant words he has ever heard. He openly declared himself as a true immortal reincarnated. Just one casual mantra magic could wipe Hazel from this world. Is that so? In that case, please speak the mantra. He was truly angry this time in the face of Hazel's provocation. He stepped into the Bagua formation and held a seal with one hand suspended in the air. Born of the Jade Celestial and the primordial azure light with divine seals, we swear our covenant as yin and yang flow and transform all returns to the one, thus, we become true. With a roar like storm, and speed of flashing thunder it heeds the call and arrives in an instant. The roar suddenly resounded in the field. With my chi harmonizing with the creations of heaven and earth, I can summon clouds and rain. Eldest young master gathered thunder with a method rooted in the Tao of pre-heaven thunder magic. The divine chi was exceptionally strong, but Hazel turned out to be only a thought, causing eldest young master to be greatly shocked and pale. In an instant, it felt as if a giant palm tightly grasped him in the void. The momentum of thunder he had just gathered dissipated instantly into nothingness. At that moment, he panicked, standing there dumbfounded. What's going on? Why? How come my magic didn't trigger? Magic is an existence beyond common sense. The only rule for unleashing magic is to recite the mantra. Only by using the mantra can one establish a connection with the souls of the gods and heavens. Whether it's spoken language or thoughts, as long as the correct mantra is uttered, the souls of the gods can resonate and descend with immense power to make the magic take effect. But if you are unable to make a sound, no matter how high the realm of the spellcaster is, he will still be unable to cast spells. Eldest young master still cannot figure out the reason why he is unable to invoke magic. He looked at the terrified Hazel in front of him. Could it be her? Is eldest young master very curious about how I managed to do it? Because this is the ability granted to me by my spiritual constitution. Do you not possess a spiritual constitution of foresight? It seems that you are not so foolish after all. Yes. The spiritual constitution I have always possessed is the spiritual constitution of sound. The spiritual constitution of sound means that the possessor can control all sounds within a certain range around themselves. As the name suggests, the spiritual constitution of sound is also known as the magic slayer. The so-called spiritual constitution of foreseeing is just a fabrication by Hazel to deceive the witch clan. She said in front of True Immortal Cloud that it was her first time at the age of 18. She knew that her arrogance as a member of the witch clan would be understood as her being able to live for at least 4 more years. Because events that have not happened yet cannot be calculated even by the true word stone. He looked at the steadily advancing Hazel eldest young master, and thought of the words she had said when she first entered his mansion. Memories of the past suddenly flooded into his mind. Over a decade ago, the beautiful concubine newly taken in by the witch clan patriarch unexpectedly became pregnant. However, the vast witch clan could not tolerate her existence as a concubine and threatened the patriarch with her own life, saying that if he dared to abort her child, they would kill her first. At that time, the eldest young master, puzzled and confused, asked his father why having an additional offspring was a joyous occasion, yet he reacted as if facing a formidable enemy. The patriarch sighed. In the witch clan, since ancient times, only 3 individuals in each generation can inherit the lineage of the guardian deity. With an extra one now, it means one of them is redundant. Since fate has determined this, the patriarch entrusted this matter to the eldest young master, who possesses extraordinary innate talent, to decide. Are you a redundant person? Hazel points her sword at the eldest young master, do you have any last words? Before the sword pierces his body, he may have never thought he would die. The true immortal, reincarnated, had never thought he would die. He never expected that the person who would kill him was his own sister. Why are you so weak? Aren't you the true immortal reincarnated? Aren't you the only genius of the witch clan in the past 300 years? Just for you useless people, I have to endure that kind of pain for 10 years. Hazel vented the pain she had suffered over the years by repeatedly stabbing the motionless eldest young master. When everyone arrived at the mansion and saw the cold body lying on the ground, they were all incredulous that the eldest young master had died. There was no sign of the young master's acolyte in the mansion, only this white-haired girl, Hazel, whom they had never seen before. She took a jade pendant from the eldest young master. Is this the key to the witch clan's barrier? The second young master of the witch clan and the third miss also hurried to the scene at this time. When they saw the body, they were stunned. How could elder brother be dead? Seeing Hazel, the third miss, with blood stains in front of her, she was loudly scolded. Where did you come from, you despicable person? Did you kill my elder brother? Hazel turned around expressionlessly and responded, Why are you barking like a dog? Looking at Hazel of the witch clan approaching step by step, the siblings were suddenly covered in cold sweat. At this moment, the disciple of the demon slayer court entered the sin pool and found the true immortal Cloud. True immortal eldest young master has been killed. The audacious eldest young master is the reincarnation of true immortal. Who could have harmed him? The dead bodies have been lying on the ground for an hour. Seeing that they don't seem to be lying, true immortal immediately headed towards eldest young master's mansion. Hazel came to third miss and heard that the day before yesterday, one of the strings of your zither broke. True immortal Cloud came to tune the zither for you, which caused the delay in opening the sin pool stone gate. Because of third miss's minor incident, it nearly cost the lives of everyone there. Since you like strings, I will give your elder sister one. After saying that, she pulled out a string and wrapped it around third miss's neck. Second young master was so scared that his hair stood on end, trembling as he asked her who she really was. Third miss, at this point, had dilated pupils and was already on the verge of death. Stop! A chi directly attacked Hazel from behind. Taking advantage of Hazel's evasion, third miss finally had a chance to catch her breath. In the end, true immortal Cloud suddenly appeared and prevented her death. He looked at eldest young master lying in a pool of blood, his lifeless body no longer showing any signs of vitality. After confirming that this was no joke, he turned his gaze towards the killer. He was struck by the stunning beauty before him, the girl appearing out of thin air like one from the witch clan. After a long pause, the true immortal finally spoke up to ask who she was. True immortal Cloud does not recognize me. Upon closer inspection, true immortal Cloud finally noticed something. Not only does she resemble the ordinary chosen one from before, but at the same time, he also recognized that Hazel is Miss Hazel Witch from the fourth witch clan. This made him suddenly surprised. So it's you. You're not dead? Yes, I didn't die. Back then, everyone thought she had eaten me. Not only did she not, she also took me away from the witch clan to the mountains and raised me. At this moment, Hazel smiled lightly. Now that the eldest young master has died, the deity's successor and the acolyte happen to be just 3 people. Finally, there are no more unnecessary individuals. True immortal Cloud, your allegiance is to the witch clan, not the eldest young master. You have no reason to attack me, as Hazel said. He indeed has no reason to attack, but he still has many questions. How did you conceal your true appearance and bloodline to deceive the investigation and the true word stone? Hazel took out Andi's lifeline-colored feathers. If it weren't for its ability to conceal the bloodline. That day, the little white finch you were holding would have been killed on the spot. True Immortal's face changed immediately. Have you received the inheritance of the White Phoenix? Yes, the thing you have been dreaming of has now returned to Witch Clan in this way. Are you satisfied? True Immortal is very surprised. How could she bear to give this to you? Hazel's words are full of sadness. If Auntie doesn't give it to me, who else can she give it to? For the sake of revenge, she can do anything. What about you, Auntie? Has she arrived? True Immortal posed the final question to Hazel. Hazel did not rush to answer him, but took out the key to Witch Clan's barrier. Auntie has always been here. The key she tightly grasped shattered suddenly, and the barrier protecting the Witch Clan closed instantly. A black bird flew over the Witch Clan and Auntie. Go and complete your revenge. The black bird rose in the night sky and flew towards a direction deep within the Witch Clan. In legend, there is a white phoenix, the incarnation of a god. It carries divine blood within its body, a power that drives people crazy. Countless cultivators seek to obtain its bloodline. On the day when the white phoenix gave birth, it was also at its weakest, but it encountered the most ferocious opponent. The Witch Clan mobilized the entire clan to launch a siege against it, which took decades just for this moment. In the chaotic battle, its newborn offspring unfortunately perished. In the end, they paid the price of 8 sacrifices to capture and bring it back to the Witch Clan. As time passed, 5 years flew by. In order to extract its bloodline, the Witch Clan conducted cruel experiments on it during this period. The once pristine feathers turned jet black, and its body was covered in scars. On this day, the true immortal Cloud arrived to report that the experiment to extract divine blood was underway. Standing next to the patriarch playing the zither, a woman listened with concern. This person was none other than Hazel's mother. The woman always quietly came to the place where the white phoenix was held captive to help it. She often brought food to the weak phoenix and encouraged it to eat something. It looked at her through the bars with eyes that seemed both timid and caring. But White Phoenix believed that it was just pity born of shared suffering. She is actually just like the imprisoned White Phoenix. To her, the Witch Clan is also a kind of cage. Since she can't decide her own life and death, what's the shame in trying to live? The woman's words awakened the hatred in White Phoenix's heart. It wants to live. It wants revenge. The opportunity is coming soon. On a stormy night, the woman secretly ran to where White Phoenix was imprisoned because the Witch Clan wanted to kill her baby, who was still in swaddling clothes. The woman pleaded, considering all the years of help she had given to White Phoenix, to have it take her child away. She then took out the stolen key and opened the cage door. However, White Phoenix had long harbored a deep hatred for the Witch Clan, and this woman before its eyes was no exception. "No matter what you do, please let my child survive." This was the only request the woman made to White Phoenix. The woman lay in a pool of blood, watching her child and White Phoenix gradually drift away. Before dying, she moved her lips slightly and said thank you to it. Perhaps it sensed the selflessness of a mother towards her child, leaving only a hint of maternal love in the midst of the pain of losing her child, and in the end, it did not harm Hazel in the cradle. After escaping from the Witch Clan, the only thing keeping White Phoenix alive is revenge. It chooses to give its power to the enemy's daughter. The moment deity Marrowblood entered her body, it was as if 1,000 blades pierced young Hazel. She screamed in pain as an intense burning sensation crazily spread throughout her body. Perhaps luck was on her side, as she withstood the power of the White Phoenix bloodline. Auntie caressed Hazel's face in her arms. "I grant you power for the sake of revenge in the future. When you grow up, you must infiltrate the Witch Clan to help me break the barrier of the Witch Clan. This is the origin of Hazel and White Phoenix." She looked up at the sky. "Go, Auntie, and fulfill your revenge." White Phoenix carried an overwhelming killing intent and flew rapidly towards the Patriarch's mansion. The Patriarch also saw White Phoenix flying towards him in the night sky. At this moment, he felt somewhat relieved instead. The day had finally arrived. A violent roar suddenly erupted at the Patriarch's mansion, with a powerful and forceful shockwave spreading throughout the entire Witch Clan true immortal cloud. Startled, everyone turned back to see the source of the sound coming from the Patriarch's mansion. Hazel tried to dissuade the true immortal, who was about to go and investigate. Auntie took action, That old thing couldn't possibly still be alive. True immortal Cloud, I understand you. You are loyal to the witch clan. Now that both the patriarch and the eldest young master have passed away, and I am the only one capable of continuing the witch clan bloodline. After all, I am the fourth miss of the witch clan. True immortal closed his eyes after listening, silently agreeing with what Hazel said. He once swore in the ancestral hall of the witch clan to protect the lineage of the witch clan until the end of the guardian deity's inheritance. Hazel took off the acolyte's badge from herself. She asked the true immortal to take it to me, who was being held in a prison cell, and also asked him to tell me her real name. At that time, the true immortal asked why she didn't go herself, but she just casually said, "I need to do my makeup." Cloudy Peak has 3 immortal towers located at the top of the mountains, one of the highest places in the mortal realm. The owners of the towers are all immortals. Inside one of the immortal towers, a young girl named Iris, a new disciple, is dozing off in front of a lamp. Her duty is to guard the lamp in front of her. The flame, that was supposed to never burn out, suddenly started to flicker violently. This has never happened before. Iris reached out her hand to straighten the flame, but with a snap of her fingers, the flame extinguished between them. She was stunned on the spot, thinking, "Senior brother is in trouble." At this moment, a bright lotus flower drifted down here. In her panic, Iris turned her head to look. A white-clad girl named Sophia stood on the lotus flower. Her features were cold, and there was an endless sense of aloofness in her every move. When little senior sister suddenly arrived, Iris quickly explained that the light was not put out by her. Sophia naturally knew, even if you wanted to extinguish it, you wouldn't have the ability. Iris was relieved to hear this, and turned her worries into joy. That's great. The weak little Iris really can't do any terrible things after all. She had second thoughts and felt that it was not good at all. If Master asks about the extinguished light, what should she do? Sophia's slender, white fingers gently touched the lamp, and the flame almost reignited several times, but ultimately returned to silence. She had calculated senior brother's final tribulation many times. Although there were dangers, there was no major harm. What kind of upheaval did he experience in the witch clan? Could there be some causality beyond calculation involved? At this moment, Iris bravely raised her hand and said, "Let me go and take a look, Master. It has been many years since he returned. I will share your worries, and I will help collect senior brother's body." No need. In the blink of an eye, a crane descended gracefully from the clouds and landed softly in her palm. She saw the crane transform into a sword named Iris, then realized Sophia was going to the witch clan herself. She hurriedly tried to dissuade senior sister Sophia, who is a precious and respected person, from venturing into such a filthy and undesirable place. Furthermore, if senior sister went, Sophia would be heartbroken as she would see through the falsehood of the sword Iris at a glance. "If I go on a distant journey, won't you just sneak out to play again?" She no longer paid attention to her explanation. Sophia turned around gracefully, saying she would study well and check her schoolwork when she returned from the witch clan. After leaving these words, she disappeared without a trace. At this moment, the rain was washing away the witch clan. After leaving the prison cell, True Immortal Cloud brought me to a long alleyway and stopped. He told me that Hazel was waiting for me in the attic of the eldest young master. "You walk the path ahead by yourself now. The current witch clan no longer has anyone who can stop you." Seeing the appearance of True Immortal, I curiously asked him where he was going. In Sin Pool, he sensed the presence of demonic spirit and wanted to take another look. Seeing True Immortal about to leave, I then remembered the seals on my body. Shouldn't True Immortal remove the seal for me? True Immortal did not look back, only saying that Hazel would take care of this matter. I don't know if it's because I know Hazel is fine, but my anxious heart has now relaxed a bit. A sense of exhaustion suddenly emerged, and I walked forward alone, one hand on the wall of the alley. I recalled how I arrived in this world after killing the demon god that night. Although I am not in a desperate situation, I am still walking on thin ice. Some people are grateful to me, while others want to kill me. Everywhere is a test, and there are traps at every step. But because of her, none of this seems so bad. The alley is not short, but not too long either. I look up and see eldest young master's attic is near. Hazel, I'm here to see you. Suddenly everything went black, and I passed out with blurred consciousness. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself lying on a soft bed. A faint scent wafted over me, and I looked around at the unfamiliar surroundings. Where am I? I woke up on a soft bed, finding myself lying there after passing out on the road. I got up and looked around the room, and a girl's fragrance filled the air. At this moment, I saw a faint white mist billowing out from under the door. The door opened, and a pair of snowy white delicate feet came into view. The person opening the door is Hazel, dressed in a bathrobe, emitting a subtle sense of charm. So beautiful, with delicate cheeks and a silky smooth body. It makes me lose my focus for a moment. Hazel, is this you revealing your true self? How should I react to her with what expression on my face? Upon hearing this, I teased her a few words. Today's Hazel looks so beautiful. Should I address you as Miss Witch Clanforth? Hazel smiled slightly at the corner of her lips. Why do you seem not very surprised? Hearing the hidden meaning in her words, it seems she is no longer concealing her appearance and revealing her true self. Facing Hazel with a slightly confused expression, I decided to act it out fully. Since I was already so captivated, naturally, I am not surprised. I didn't expect Junior's sister to be this good-looking. If I had known earlier, I would have been nicer to you. Hazel smiled after listening, saying, No, approaching me without knowing my true appearance actually makes it feel more precious, doesn't it? In fact, she doesn't know that I saw her true appearance from the first moment I saw her. Of course, I won't say it either. So, Junior sister, did you change your appearance to infiltrate the Divine Chosen in order to kill a son or daughter of the Witch clan and take their place? No, I just want to kill the eldest young master. Everyone says that the eldest young master is the reincarnation of a true immortal, so I want to see how strong he really is. I only want to kill him, because the central point of the Witch clan's barrier is on him. But the result is somewhat disappointing. I saw the red string in Hazel's hand, and curiously asked her what the red string was all about. She then explained that it was because there was the power of the White Phoenix's marrow blood within her body, which was too powerful to be controlled. So, Auntie used her own feather to weave the red string specifically to seal this power. If I had untied this red string when we were at Sin Pool, she might have turned into a demon and eat me in one bite. I become more and more curious as I, who knows nothing about this world, listens. Junior sister is not the daughter of the Witch clan. She should be a human talent. How could she have become a demon? To my surprise, Hazel laughed and poked my face. Why do you become so silly whenever it comes to common sense of this world? I even have to suspect if you are an outer realm heavenly demon. Haha, if I were outer realm heavenly demons, then what about you, Junior sister? I am a celestial immortal from the outer realms too. The two of them couldn't help but tease each other. Hazel suddenly stood up and said that these days were the happiest she had been in 14 years. However, starting from today, she asked me not to call her junior sister anymore. We are supposed to wait for 4 years, right? The progress of not being called junior sister seems to be faster now. What are you thinking? I only saw her taking out the acolyte badge on my body and praised Yang. You are my acolyte now, so you should call me Master.